He'll test your temper, smoke will choke your pride, but I'll take that burn before I run and hide. Yeah, I'm branded by the fire, carved by the pain. Every blister, every burn runs wild in my veins. I don't hide from the scorch, I don't run from the flame. I wear it like a badge, I ain't playing their game. What broke of a man only made me rise higher, 'cause I'm branded, branded by the fire.
Some men pray for mercy when the heat comes down. But me, I found my mercy in the sound of the crackle and roar that tried to take me home. That blaze didn't kill me, it gave me a soul.
I'm branded by the fire, carved by the pain. Every blister, every burn runs wild in my veins. I don't beg for the water, don't cry for the rain. I was forced in the furnace and I'll never be the same. What broke of a man only made me rise higher. I'm not broken, I'm branded by the fire.
To the ancestors, known and unknown, Ashe. To the gods, known and unknown, Ashe. All the praise, all the glory be to the Most High. What's going on, guys? It's your favorite cosmic warrior, Back at you with another Galactic Transmission. Today we're going to pick up on PC Sophia, Book 2. Where did we leave off? We left off at Chapter 80. Yeshua said, after Sophia had spoken this prayer, the self-willed one grew alarmed. He feared she might be rescued, so he called upon all the powers of chaos, those who served him, those who had taken Sophia's light, and commanded them to gather together and crush her completely. They obeyed him. They swarmed around her with wrath, binding her, choking her strength, and flooding her with despair. They rejoiced, believing they had finally silenced her once and for all. But even surrounded and broken, Sophia's voice was not lost. In her heart, the memory of the light still burned. And though her enemies could not hear it, the heavens did. Yeshua said, She did not speak her next prayer aloud, but the first mystery saw the cry in her soul. For even when her voice could no longer rise, her devotion remained. And that silent cry shook the depths of the aeons. Chapter 81. Yeshua said this to his disciples. After Sophia's 10th cry, and after the self-willed one and his forces tried once more to destroy her, Sophia gathered what little strength she had and raised her voice again. This was her 11th prayer, filled with longing and clarity. And Sophia said, O light, my heart is fixed on you. I know you have not forgotten me, even as I sink deeper into this pit. The powers continue to mock me, to strip away what remains of my light. But you, O radiance beyond all, you are not far. They hate me because I hoped in you. They surround me because I carry your name. They gnashed their teeth, saying, She will fall forever. But I know your mercy is coming. I feel it now, beyond the shadows, reaching towards me. Let your voice be heard in this darkness. Let your power scatter the lies that hold me. Let the robe of light they stole be restored. Let my enemies be silenced, not by violence, but by truth. Show them that I was never lost to you. And let those who love you rejoice in my rising. Let your glory be seen in my rescue. For I will sing of your justice. I will praise your name. And when I return to the place I once knew. Yeshua said, "This 11th cry moved the depths of the heavens." Her voice rang with such devotion and humility that the first mystery turned fully towards her. The moment of her deliverance was now at hand. Chapter 82. Yeshua said, "And then Sophia, still caught in the grip of the powers, but certain that the light would come, lifted her voice for the 12th and final time. This was her last and most complete prayer. O light, you are my inheritance. You are the breath in my soul. Though I am surrounded by those who would destroy me, I give my spirit into your hands. You are my true home, and I trust in you alone. Do not let shame cover me. Let those who seek to consume me be unmasked. Let your light expose their falsehood. For they hunt me not because I have done wrong, but because I belong to you. You have seen my affliction. You know the grief in my heart. You have not closed your eyes to my suffering. Do not let them drag me down farther. I have waited for your mercy. I have not looked into any other. Let your strength move through the aeons. Let your compassion descend into this chaos. Break open the gates that hold me and lead me back into your brightness. I will walk again in your presence and tell of your goodness in every realm." Yeshua said, this was the 12th and final cry of Sophia. It was complete, not because her suffering had ended, but because her surrender was full. She held nothing back, and now the light could no longer delay. The time had come to lift her. Chapter 83. Yeshua said, "And when the 12th prayer of Sophia had reached its end, the first mystery heard her completely. Moved by her persistence and faith, the command was given. It was time to rescue her. And so a great stream of light came forth from the highest realms. It flowed down through the aeons, shining brighter than any power could resist. The light entered the chaos and surrounded Sophia, protecting her from the forces that had bound her. Yeshua said she did not see the fullness of her rescue yet, but the light had come. Her redemption was now in motion, and nothing could stop it." Chapter 84. Yeshua said to his disciples, after Sophia's 12th prayer, the first mystery commanded me to his sister, not by appearing in my full glory, but through a lesser light, so that the rulers of the aeons would not be thrown into total disorder. So I sent forth a powerful stream of light into the chaos. That stream passed through all the aeons and descended into the deep, where Sophia was still surrounded by the forces of the self-willed one. When the chaos and its rulers saw the light, they were shaken. Some withdrew in fear, while others clung more tightly to Sophia, desperate to keep her bound. But the light began to loosen their grip. Sophia, seeing the light approach, was filled with hope. Her strength began to return, and she lifted her voice in praise to the first mystery, saying, "You have remembered me, O light. You have sent your mercy into the abyss. My heart rejoices." But the powers of the chaos would not surrender easily. They continued to press against her, even as their control weakened. The light I sent began to separate her from their grasp. She rose slightly above them, no longer fully entangled. Sophia praised again, saying, "You are my helper, my deliverer. You have heard my cries and come to my rescue. The chains that bound me are breaking. Your justice reaches even into the depths." Yeshua said, though she was not fully freed, her light began to separate from theirs. For the first time since her fall, she was beginning to ascend. Chapter 85. Yeshua continued, "When Sophia realized that the light had truly come to her, she rejoiced and offered praise to the first mystery. She said, 'You are my strength and my salvation. You have not forgotten me in the abyss. Though I was cast down and surrounded, you have stretched out your hand. The rulers tremble at your presence, and their grip is failing. You are faithful. I will sing your justice.'" Yeshua added, though her liberation was not yet complete, her heart was renewed, and from that place her ascent had truly begun. Chapter 86. Yeshua said to his disciples, while Sophia was still lifted by the light I had sent, while Sophia was still being lifted by the light I had sent, the self-willed one grew enraged. Seeing that she was escaping, he summoned all the powers of chaos and commanded them to act quickly, to drag her back and reclaim the light they had taken from her. The powers gathered and came against her with force. They tried new tricks, some with deceit, others with threats, but Sophia had changed. The light that had touched her made her more discerning. She could now tell what was true and what was false. She cried out, "You will not have me again. I know who you are. I see through your lies. Though I am not yet in my fullness, your voices no longer rule me. My heart belongs to the light that rescued me." Yeshua said, and when the rulers saw that she no longer believed them, they were thrown into confusion. Their power over her began to collapse. Though she had not yet returned to her original place, nothing could stop her restoration. The light was with her now. Chapter 87. Yeshua said to his disciples, seeing that Sophia was beginning to rise, and that their grip on her was weakening, the powers of the self-willed one grew afraid. They called out in anger, "We have lost our power over her." Despite their efforts, they could no longer fully hold her. The light within Sophia was growing stronger, and their control was fading. The rulers tried to gather her again in confusion, but their authority over her had already begun to collapse. Chapter 88. Yeshua continued, at that moment, Sophia saw their confusion and was filled with hope. She turned again to the light and lifted her voice in praise. She said, "O light, you have not failed me. You have shamed the powers who rose against me. Their schemes are broken. Their plans are undone. My trust in you has not been in vain. You are my refuge. You have begun to lift me from the chaos." Chapter 89. Yeshua said, and so Sophia sang once more to the light, offering a song of thanks from her heart. She said, "You have heard me, even in the depths. Your light has surrounded me, and your strength has brought down those who sought to destroy me. My soul rejoices. I will not forget your mercy. I will speak your name in the very places I rise, in every place I rise." Chapter 90. Yeshua said to his disciples, when Sophia saw that the power of the chaos was collapsing, she lifted her voice again, this time not in desperation, but in thanksgiving. She said, "O light, you are my salvation. You have turned your face to me, and the shadows have fled. The rulers tremble at your coming. Their cruelty is undone. You are my strength. You are my hope. And I will praise you in the heights, as I praised you in the depths." Chapter 91. Yeshua said, Sophia, strengthened by the light I had sent, rose higher above the chaos. The rulers of the aeons and the powers of the self-willed one watched with fear. They gathered to debate whether to let her go or to pull her back again. They said, if she rises to the 13th aeon, she will regain her power, and we will no longer be able to touch her. But if we act now, perhaps we can still reclaim what we've lost. Yeshua continued, as they argued, they began to accuse one another, blaming each other for letting Sophia escape. Their unity was broken. While they fought, I sent even more light to strengthen her, lifting her above their grasp. Seeing this, Sophia gave thanks again. She said, "O light, you have caused confusion among my enemies. They no longer agree. Their schemes unravel, and their words betray them. Their power is in conflict, but my trust in you is whole." Sophia now stood far above the chaos and the powers that once bound her. She saw the path ahead and said, "Now I see clearly. Now I understand what I did not see before. The light never abandoned me. Even when I was lost, it was near. Even when I was silent, it heard." Yeshua said, then Sophia turned and spoke once more, not only to the light, but to all who could hear her testimony. She said, "Let all who fall remember this. The light is faithful. It does not forget those who call upon it. I was deceived, but I am not destroyed. I was cast down, but I have risen. Let those who love truth, rejoice. For the light has lifted me from the lowest place. And you, O light, I will praise forever. You are the one who judges with mercy, the one who rescues with power. I will not forget your name. I will carry it with me through all the realms I pass. Yeshua concluded, this was Sophia's great declaration, a song not only of gratitude but of wisdom. She no longer asked for help. She gave thanks for it. She had become a witness to the light. Chapter 92. Yeshua said, after Sophia spoke her testimony, I brought her even closer to the 13th aeon. The light within her grew stronger with every step. The powers below could no longer touch her. She rejoiced and said, you have clothed me again in light. You have restored what was lost. I no longer fear the rulers of the aeons. My heart is full, and I walk with your radiance. Chapter 93. Yeshua said to his disciples, after Sophia was brought near to the 13th aeon, she was not yet fully restored to her original place. The light I had sent remained with her, but the first mystery had not yet granted her complete return. So I brought her before the 13th aeon, and she saw the light of its veil shining from above. She rejoiced deeply. Seeing this, she lifted her voice again in praise and said, O light, you have lifted me to the edge of my home. The place from which I fell is before me, and I see the glory that once clothed me. I bless your name, for you have not only heard me, you have raised me up. Sophia continued to speak a powerful hymn of joy and recognition. She acknowledged that though she had fallen by her own desire, the light had never abandoned her. She said, you are just in all your ways. You have corrected me without destroying me. You have taught me through the suffering, and your mercy has brought me back. She reflected on the path she had walked, the longing that led her to reach too soon, the deception that cast her down, the sorrow of being stripped and mocked, the darkness that tried to swallow her, and yet she praised the light for having used all of it to teach and refine her. You have not only rescued me, she said, you have changed me. I am no longer what I was. I have come to know your name, not only in joy, but in despair. And now I stand again before the gates of my place, clothed in understanding and clothed in the light. Yeshua said, this was Sophia's great hymn at the edge of her restoration. She did not demand return. She offered thanks for the journey. And the light rejoiced in her words, for she had become truly worthy of the place she sought. Chapter 94. Yeshua continued, and now Sophia had been raised up above the 13th aeon. I stood with her and prayed before the first mystery, asking that her restoration be completed. I said, O first mystery, you who see all and know all, I ask now that Sophia be allowed to return fully to her place. She has turned her face to you. She has not wavered in her praise. She has passed through sorrow and remained faithful. Let her robe be returned. Let her throne be restored. Let her be as she was in the beginning. Yeshua said, and the first mystery heard my prayer. Chapter 95. Yeshua said, then the first mystery responded to my call and gave the command to restore Sophia completely. At that word, I turned to the veil of the 13th aeon and commanded it to open, so that the light of Sophia might enter. And the veil opened. All the powers of the 13th aeon rejoiced. The place that had once known Sophia now welcomed her again. Her robe was returned to her, not the same as before, but more radiant, refined through her journey. She was clothed again in glory, and her crown was restored. I led her through the inner spaces of the aeon, and all the beings that there praised the light for her return. They sang, saying, blessed is the soul who has passed through darkness and remembered the light. Blessed is the one who has fallen and risen again. And Sophia herself lifted her voice and said, I bless you, O light, with all that I am. You have turned my sorrow into strength. You have turned shame into wisdom. I speak your name in every realm. I will teach others not to fear the fall, for your mercy lifts all who remember you. Yeshua said, and so her journey was complete. The one who had fallen became the one who knew the light more deeply than before. She returned not as she was, but as one transformed. The Aeons rejoiced. Chapter 96. Yeshua said to his disciples, As Sophia stood near the 13th Aeon, not yet fully restored, I continued to support her with the light I had sent. And she lifted her voice again, not in sorrow, but in steady praise. For she saw the light acting on her behalf. And Sophia said, O light, I give you praise, for you have remembered me. My enemies gathered around me, thinking I was lost, but you shattered their schemes. You tore away the nets that they cast over me. You did not let their words prevail. They said I would fall forever. They laughed at my faith in you. But you have silenced their boasting. You have shown your faithfulness. Though I was wounded, you have made me whole. Though I was cast down, you have lifted me up. You are the one who rescues and restores. Let those who know you rejoice in your mercy. Let all who hope in you declare your name. For you have drawn me out of the shadows. You have brought me close to the place from which I fell. Yeshua said, This prayer of Sophia was not a cry for help, but a song of thanksgiving. Her enemies trembled, and their unity crumbled. The strength of the light was fully active within her. Chapter 97. Yeshua said, After Sophia's praise, I brought her still closer to the veil of the 13th Aeon. She had not yet entered, but she stood now at the threshold. And as she beheld its radiance, she lifted her voice again, offering a new song. Sophia said, You have done all things well, O light. You have shown me truth through suffering, wisdom through affliction. The lies that once trapped me now lie shattered. The ones who mocked me are mute, for your justice has spoken. You are the one who sees all. You do not forget those who fall. You reach into the chaos and pull forth the faithful. Let all who suffer remember this. The light is near, even in the deepest night. They set a trap for me, but I escaped. They closed in around me, but your presence broke through. Now I see what I could not before. You have restored my sight. You have opened my understanding, and so I praise you. Not with the voice of one who begs, but of one who sees. You are holy, and your mercy endures. You lift up those who are crushed, and you give a name to the nameless. I will speak your goodness wherever I am sent. Yeshua said, This was Sophia's offering before she re-entered the Aeons. She spoke not only for herself, but for all souls who seek the light. Her testimony became a path for others to follow. Chapter 98. Yeshua said, And now Sophia, standing before the veil, raised her voice one final time before entering. This was her seal of return, a prayer of full alignment with the light. She said, You are the one, the source of my being. You have walked with me through the darkness, though I could not see you. You have spoken to me through the silence, corrected me through the patience, and saved me with mercy. I left my place because I desired your light, and though I was deceived, that desire was true. You did not condemn me for my fall. You used it to teach me. Now I return, not as I was, but as one who knows you more deeply. You are just, yet full of grace. You have broken the power of those who rose against me. You have clothed me again, not only in light, but in wisdom. You have made me whole, and now I enter my place with joy. I do not fear the powers, for they cannot reach me. I will sing your name from within the aeons, and I will remember those still trapped below. For your light is for all, and your mercy does not end. Yeshua said, With that, Sophia passed through the veil and entered her place in the 13th aeon. She was restored in fullness, and her joy became a light to all the heavens. Chapter 99. Yeshua said to his disciples, "Now that Sophia has been restored to her place in the 13th aeon, I will explain to you the path she took to return. The journey of her soul is not only her story, but a model for every soul that seeks the light. She fell because of her longing, a desire that reached upward before its time. And though she was deceived and cast into chaos, she never forgot the light. Her voice continued to rise, even when the darkness surrounded her. Even as her prayers was a step upward. Each of her prayers was a step upward. Each cry was heard. And because she did not lose hope, the light responded. She was never alone, not even at her lowest. The light was always drawing her back. This is why I tell you, every soul that remembers the light, even in sorrow, will be lifted. The path is open. The mercy is great. Let no one think they are beyond return." Chapter 100. Yeshua continued, "When I brought Sophia before the veil of the 13th aeon, I stood with her and prayed before the first mystery. I said, 'Let her robe be restored. Let her place be opened. She has walked the path of repentance. She has remembered your name. Let the fullness of her light be given back to her.' And the first mystery responded with compassion. The gates opened, and Sophia was clothed once more in the garments of her origin. Her light was multiplied. Her name was renewed. She entered not with shame, but with praise. The aeons rejoiced, and the powers above gave glory to the light who serves all who came in one truth." The aeons rejoiced, and the powers above gave glory to the light who saves all who call out in truth. Chapter 101. Yeshua said, "Now I speak this to you so that you may understand. Sophia's journey is not only her own. The mystery of her fall and her rising is given so that all who hear may learn. If a soul falls, it is not the end. If it longs for the light, it will be heard. The chaos may press in, but it cannot overcome a fixed heart on truth." But it cannot overcome a heart fixed on truth. I am the one who was sent to gather the scattered. I was sent by the first mystery, not only to speak, but to act. And just as I rescued Sophia, so I will rescue others who call upon the light. Let the one who has ears hear. Let those who fall rise. Let those who remember the light return to it. For the way has been made open, and it is not closed to any who walk in truth. You know, one of the key differences that just keeps popping up in my mind is the shift and change. Is when she went from, from asking, it's the difference between begging and asking the Most High and speaking into existence. It's giving thanks for what is already done, even though I might not physically see it. I know it to be true. I know it's going to happen. I don't believe it's going to happen because you only believe in things that you do not know. You have to hold the space of the knowing. I know you've already done it. I know my path is made before me. It's not made all the way ahead of me. I can't see my full path. I'm being guided to take a step. And as I take that guided step, magically, as my foot's about to touch, into what's supposed to be the ground, and I see nothing, all of a sudden it appears. It happens just like that. But it's speaking into existence. It's Thanksgiving. It's true Thanksgiving. It's giving thanks for everything. It's the understanding it's the shift of consciousness of it's not what happened to me, it's what happened for me. It's how you used, my suffering, my sorrows, my loss. You use this to teach me some of the greatest lessons. But it's the lack of the understanding of the lesson that prevents us from moving forward. It's just what keeps us stuck is when it's what happened to me? it's only what happened to you when you don't learn the lesson. And when you don't learn the lesson, when you can't find the lesson, you don't have something to give thanks for. What do you have to give thanks for? Well, that was shitty. Thanks for the shit. I love this shit. It's like, you're not going to give thanks for that. You know, but when you find the lesson, it's you hold on to that lesson and you give thanks for the lesson. Not for the situation, but for the lesson. Now, it's interesting too. It's the balancing of the scales, but it's the lifting up. It's weightless. It's the weightless. It's removing the weight. It's removing the bonds. It's removing the chains. It's lifting it up. It's giving it to the Most High. Now, I don't want this. I don't want to carry this. And take this. Here you go. Take it from me. Thank you. Thank you for taking it from me. You know, I'm gonna hold my hand out there extended until you take it, because I know it's gonna happen. When? I don't know. My arm's getting weaker. It's getting lower. But guess what? It's still here. It's still outreach to you. I'm still giving it to the Most High. Because I don't want this. I'm not accepting it. I don't want this. You know, I don't want this. You know, my mind's also being brought to, you know, interesting. It's the ascent, right? Well, it's the descent and then the ascent. But it's the Christmas story. You know, it's the return home. You know, yesterday was the beginning of the winter solstice. You know, it was the longest, darkest night. You know, but it's 3 days. You know, you must die, and then, you know, it's the colostrum, the oil drips down all the way down, you know, your spine, and then 3 days later it rises back up. You know, it's a story depicted in so many different cultures in so many different ways, but not many eyes that see it, and not many ears that actually hear it. They know it for what it is, you know. But it's the coded messages for those that have the eyes to see. But most people don't. You know, they fixate on the stories and how the stories evolve, but not what the meanings of them were. You know, just like nursery rhymes. You know, nursery rhymes. It's a catchy way that people pass down knowledge and information. There are nursery rhymes about serial killers, and it was to pass down information and knowledge of what to watch out for, so you didn't fall into those traps. But then, you know, over time, over generations, we've lost complete sight of it. We remember the rhymes, but that's interesting too. But what are they? They're chants. They're incarnations. They're yeah. It's the things that we do. It's the rituals that we partake in without even realizing it all the time. It's the things we give our powers to without even realizing it. You know, we're claiming our power back. You know, nothing can be taken from you. That's not, you know, anything that's yours can't be taken from you. You know, but people hear that and they think, you know, possessions. You know, they automatically, mind goes to possessions. And it's, you know, it's our value. It's false gods. You know, we put our value into possessions. We put our value into our positions, into our titles, into our labels. But who gave us those labels? Who gave us these titles? Man? Who are we trying to impress with these things? Men? You know, but Thanksgiving, it's, you know, it's, you know, sometimes you have to have what's taken from you. Things have to be taken from you because you're unappreciative. We're unappreciative. We have so much to give thanks for, yet we never give thanks. Never once do we reach out to the Most High and give thanks. And we take it for granted. You know, sense of entitlement. You know, we all have the right to return home. We all have the possibility to return home. We all have the ability to return home. And that's what we're all seeking, regardless if we recognize that or not. That's what our soul's longing for, is to return home. but the journey, the descent down, and then the realization of, well, it's being able to see the path home. It's not a path that you can see, it's a path that you feel. It's an energetic path that we walk. But it's more exploration. It's we learn, we go inward and we learn more of ourselves, and as we reveal more about ourselves to ourselves, it's what's revealed. It's the false programming, it's the habits, it's any and everything that no longer serves us. When you're able to see things as that, it's a lot easier to give thanks for things that were removed from you. That at one point you didn't think that life would go on if I didn't have this thing or this person. But life does go on. Life always goes on, but how does it go on? It goes on how we perceive it. If we perceive it as always negative, that's what do you think we're dragging in? But but even the negative can still be good. The lessons we learn, the memories we hold on to. There are good aspects, and that's what we hold on to. And then it's a whole lot of releasing. And it's interesting too, releasing pain, releasing suffering. It's giving it to the Most High. I don't want to suffer anymore. And it's speaking that shit into existence. But it's taking command of your life. It's not waiting for a savior, because savior's not coming until you find it, and it's in you. Oh yeah. How you guys doing?
Lay down low, but he breathed around me. No grave too deep, no death too much. I rose again from dry bones and dust.
Hey, we got Poland in the house.
Stuck in the valley, hear the word. The storm may shake, but the truth don't blur. From ashes to armor, from silence to trust, there's resurrection in the dry bones and dust. Dry bones and dust. That's where he found me. Still full of sin, but his grace surrounds me. No grave too deep, no death too much. I rose again from dry bones and dust.
What's interesting? I'm looking at your comment. I'm not waiting for a savior. I just wanted to not have to walk alone. I feel that, right? And so I had a client I worked with for a little bit, for a couple weeks, and then they were kind of like on a journey to find themselves without even really knowing it, right? And I'm just helping them to see things from a different perspective, right? And show them where they need to be looking. And out of a sense of loneliness, someone that's been single for a while, right? And but a sense of loneliness, I get that. But sometimes in a sense of loneliness is when weakness can kick in, and sometimes we put ourselves into situations we shouldn't have. We find ourselves ended up in relationships that we shouldn't have. That we only found ourselves there out of, it's kind of desperation, I get the loneliness, but it's sometimes we set ourselves back. It's tests. It's perseverance. It's withstanding the hands of time. That's a test. Is time, waiting, patience. But a lot of times too, it's we sit there and we think that we're ready, but we're not. And the Most High knows that we're not. And another interesting point too to keep in mind is that the Most High won't give you your blessing if you're going to fumble it. It's not going to happen. Not all the time. Or maybe it will. So you can see what you could have had, but you can also see where my programming, my mindset, where whatever it is on my end that's holding me back. So you will get a glimpse of it and be like, oh shit, I could have had that, but it's this aspect of myself that's holding me back. But holding me back, but jumping into the wrong relationship just out of a sense of loneliness. It hurt because I knew the person, well, I didn't know him. I knew enough about the person that she was getting involved with that, he's alcoholic. He's abusive. He's an alcoholic. I didn't see anything good happening in that situation, but to each his own. It's not my life to live. It's yours. And so I was curious why she stopped hitting me up and stopped coming around. And then I heard she was hanging around with this guy. And it's like, well, that makes sense. But then unfortunately he's an alcoholic and abusive and ended up getting arrested for abusing her, and they're not together anymore. And it's unfortunate. It sucks to see stuff like that happen, but I know enough definitely not to interject with relationships, because even when you think you're doing a good thing, some lessons people have to learn themselves. And you're always, even if you're going into a situation with good intentions as being a good person and trying to give good advice, not everyone wants the good advice. And you're normally, good chances 10 times out of 10 that you're going to end up the bad guy. Even what you do wrong. You just spoke the truth. You called it for how you saw it. But you're always going to be the bad guy. And so giving advice where it's not asked for. If people don't ask for the advice, I learn not to give my 2 cents. Because, well, even when people ask for my advice, they're not ready for the words that come out of my mouth. They're not ready for the truths that come out of my mouth. And it's like, can you just lie to me? It's like, I'm sorry, I can't. That's not in my nature. That's why it's easier for me just to keep my mouth shut. But yeah.
With some outlaw knees. Blood in the dirt and a fire in the sky. Everything I carry got me walking alive. Whiskey in my veins, thunder in my chest. Ain't no rest for a soul possessed. Rust on my halo.
Well, see, that's the crazy part too. I like that song too. I'm gonna pause that. But it's not fun being a reality breaker. You know what I mean? It's not fun coming into someone's life and just speaking the truth and watching it shatter their, well, but how many veils of deceit do people live behind? It's because I feel really comfortable. And when I start getting uncomfortable by the truth, is no, I don't like that truth. I'm going to put another barrier over me. And I can't stand those barriers. So guess what? Sometimes I'll come through with like a wrecking ball and I'm going to smash all those barriers. Guess what? Here's the truth. You can't run anymore. Sometimes I do it intentionally. Sometimes I feel like, I don't know, I just be put in those situations to do it because that's just what I'm supposed to do. And it's not always fun. It's not always fun. It's not always fun. But I guess I'm good at it. I don't know. Yeah, but that's... You know what's funny part is, like, that's, it's the best type of friend to have around, because they're going to call it how it is. They're not going to sugarcoat it. They're, they're going to tell you when you're fucking off. You know what I mean? And hey, as long as you're aware that you're fucking off, as long as you're aware. Because you wouldn't be a good friend if we didn't at least bring it to their awareness. But at the same time, we can't, it's the understanding, we can't control people. But a lot of people can't take constructive criticism, though. People take criticism and, well, it's interesting because, I don't know, I guess I do take constructive criticism. I'm capable of it. But I'm pretty firm on all my ways because I spend time and trial and error perfecting my ways. Like, I'm a perfectionist. And so when I do things, the way I do things, there's a rhythm to the madness. You know what I mean? It's for a reason. And sometimes it's hard to even explain that because there's so many different parts involved in it. And good luck trying to make it make sense to other people. Sometimes I don't even know how it makes sense. All I know is it works. And so I know it works this way, so this is the way I'm going to do it. But it's what works for us. What works for me might work for you. Maybe it won't. But maybe you'll be able to, hey, I heard this or I saw that this worked for that person. It didn't work for me, but maybe it works for you. Sometimes that's what we're made to do. Just relate just messages. We're messengers for the Most High. We're relaying messages to people. But there's different ways to achieve the same outcome, right? I found a way that worked for me. It's not going to work for everyone, but there might be parts of the process that work for you. Or maybe it's just you. Now, the whole point of our paths crossing was so that you come into the information, so that you come into the knowledge, and so now you can pass it on to other people. And the amount of people that you pass it on to, who knows how many people that could help. That's the belief that I like to go into things with. It's even if people don't understand the conversations we're having with them, if you're feeling so strongly led to have those conversations, it's for a reason. It's not for nothing. It's not a waste of breath. But it's a waste of energy to try to make it make sense. I need to know how it's how these words that I'm speaking right now is going to help and affect this person right here and right now. We're not supposed to know. We're not always supposed to see it. Well, we are supposed to know it's helping. Well, we're supposed to know that it's doing its purpose. Whatever that purpose is. Whether it's coming in like a wrecking ball and shattering it, whether it's helping to build something else up, who knows what the purpose is. But it's serving its purpose, whatever that purpose may be. But labels, it's interesting. The same bit of information that we give, we take the same information, the same trials, whatever it may be. We could give that same knowledge to 10 different people, and due to their experience, those 10 people are going to take the same information differently. The same 10 people are going to apply it differently. Maybe none of them are going to apply it. Maybe all of them look at it as useless. Maybe one person finds it as useful. Who knows? But we never know. But even though we don't see the impact right here and right now, it doesn't mean we didn't make it. Didn't mean that we didn't send that ripple effect, that it might not be felt right now, but when it comes back, when they're ready, when they're at the place, then it's all going to make sense. That's the knowing that I hold on to, not a belief, because you only believe in what you do not know. And I know that I'm not led to do things for no reason. And I know I'm not always going to see it, but I know it served its purpose. Whatever that purpose may be, it served. Which is hard when you want things to make sense and you want to see things. You like seeing things work out. It's like, I don't know, it's writing a whole bunch of stories and never finishing them. But that's okay. There's just a bunch of mini stories, right? They can all still be put together into one big book of mini series. Mini stories. What's interesting is, well, I've never lasted long in friends groups. I get along with everyone. I can fit in anywhere. But it's, then the more people get to know me, and then sometimes it's, I don't sugarcoat things. I just call it out. Some people don't like that. So I just shine bright. Some people don't like that. I outshine people not even trying. A lot of people don't like that. There's different reasons why You know, it's, you know, loved by everyone, hated by a bunch, you know, understood by all, misunderstood by all. It's so much fun. So much fun. You know, but it makes you want to conform. It makes you want to dim yourself down, to water yourself down, to be like everyone else. And for what? I'm not like everyone else. And, you know, it's more disruptive to my soul to attempt to be someone that I'm not. Even though it's disrupting to everyone else when you are who you are, when you stand in truth. It's disrupting to everyone that's not walking in their truth. But I don't subscribe to those belief systems anymore. I don't subscribe into the coddling to feelings. I'm not coddling to no feelings anymore. No. I don't live behind a veil of deceit. So if you don't want, you know, all the veils of deceit being removed, stay the fuck away from me. Because those veils of deceit, they don't last around me. They're going to get shattered. And if you got sensitive feelings, stay the fuck away from me. Caution. Big caution.
And the ones who misread understand too late. I don't warn when I'm coming, I just shift the light. I don't prove that I'm solid, I let doubt take flight. I don't demand their respect, I don't need them aware. I just breathe once and watch the room lose air. You don't hear my voice, you hear what it unlocks. I don't ask for space, I take care. I don't ask to be heard, I let silence stare. I don't flare up her eyes, I burn when it's real. Cause presence isn't volume, it's something you feel. I don't wait to be called, I arrive like a tone. You can hear it in the dust when I walk in alone. Yeah. Noise tries to be known. Silence already is. I don't ask for space, I take care. I don't flare up her eyes, I burn when it's real. They don't need to be convinced, they just need to feel that not everything loud is stronger than still. I don't stand in the room. The room stands around me.
This ain't close, this ain't hoping, this ain't wishing, this is identity. I don't manifest, I decide. I wake in my power, choosing who I am today. Move like a queen, everything flows my way. No chase, no wait, I don't beg for a sign. I pick my time and I claim it as mine. Oh, thoughts show up, but I shut that door. Exit old version, I don't live there anymore. I speak my truth and reality shifts to me. Every move aligned, every thought stays clean. I know who I am, I'm the energy queen. No fear, no doubt, I don't ask why. I choose my life and the universe comply. I don't manifest, I decide. I pick my identity, reality aligns. No room, no try, no waiting for a sign. When I say done, it's already mine. This is power, this is truth, this is frequency. You don't manifest, you claim identity. This is power, this is truth, this is frequency. You don't manifest, you claim identity. I switch my mind fast, flipping timelines quick. Rising my worth, everything comes in sync. Doubt fades out when the old thoughts die. I stepped in the version where I already shine. I see it, I feel it, I breathe that shit. My vibe moves first, the world follows it. No force, no fight, I let life flow. I know who I am and the universe knows. Every move aligned, every thought stays queen. I know who I am, I'm the energy queen. No fear, no doubt, I don't ask why. I choose my life and the universe gon' die. I don't manifest, I decide. I pick my identity, reality aligns. No hope, no try, no waiting for a sign. When I say done, it's already mine. This is power, this is truth, this is frequency. You don't manifest, you claim identity. This is power, this is truth, this is frequency. You don't manifest, you claim identity. Identity first, everything next. Shift who you are, life follows the rest. I walk in the
Alright, so I'm going to do some collective messages, but then I open up the queue, so if you guys want to join the queue, I'll do some for you guys too. If you don't know how to join the queue, towards the top of the screen in the center, you're going to look for a scrolling menu bar, and it's going to, or message bar, and you're looking for the question mark. When you see the question mark, you tap on that, it'll bring a drop-down menu, tap on there, then you can join the queue from there. But we're going to start off with some collective.
I was counting my silver in the dust of the street. When the rabbi walked up with eyes that cut deep, said, "Follow me," with a voice like thunder. Left my coins on the table. Walked into the wonder. Wine on the table, bread in the hand, sitting with these outlaws and the dead. The holy ones whisper, don't he know their name? But he smiled through the smoke and said, "That's why I came." Dinner with the sinners, he saved me a seat in the company of beggars, the broken and beat. No crown on my head, just dust on my shoes. But he called me to the table with the good news. I was blind in the night, now I see in his light, feasting on mercy till the end of the fight. He turned to the proud with the fire in his eyes, said, "It's the sick who need the doctor, not the ones who feel alive. Mercy over
Yeah,
sacrifice."
It's the sick that needs the doctor. It's the sick that we need the doctor. Sacrifices. It's a soul sickness. It's sacrificing our passions. It's sacrificing our passions. It makes us sick. It's the things that we feel pulled to, the things that we feel led to. It's not choosing it. It's disruption. Think of it as like a spiritual sickness. It's like a disruption. It's on a soul level. It's like you feel it. But it's learning to get over insecurities. It's our programming. It's our insecurities that are prevent us from moving forward, from moving towards our passions. but it's, insecurities. But what I'm getting with this, the hidden keys and the puzzle pieces, it's our insecurities, but it's, it's the way that we observe things, right? But puzzle pieces, but I'm also getting like abstract art, and it's like, it's the pieces of us that fit perfectly. Everyone can see it. It's abstract, right? Everyone can see it, right? But we're insecure about it. Everyone could think that it's a beautiful masterpiece, but we think it's just some finger painting, and it's our insecurities. But it's being able to see past our insecurities. It's interesting, being able to see past, being able to look past the veils. But it's interesting too. It's like the veil is a reflection. It's like the insecurities. That's all it wants you to see. It's like when you try to see past this is all you're gonna see is this aspect of yourself that you don't like. That's all you're gonna see, because we don't want you to look past there. Because if you can see past there, then oh no, that's trouble. For who? For your insecurities. It has no effect here anymore. You know what I mean? You defeat that. It has no effect here anymore. It has no power over you. It has no power over you. Rising out of the flames. It's like it's taking them. It's seeing the imperfections. And throwing yourself into the flames. And let's just melt all these imperfections out. All these insecurities. Get rid of them. But it's rising up out of the flames, but it's condensed and it's pure. It's condensed and it's pure. It's interesting too, is people know the term, cleansing waters, but what about cleansing fires? Learning from the spiritual experiences. It's the understanding that, the tower moments aren't something to be feared. They're something, welcomed. Not always with open arms, but they're welcomed. It's the knowledge, though, that so I'm going to gain something out of this. It's not going to be for nothing. And sometimes we have no idea what we're going to gain from it. So I'm really, really excited. I'm so excited to see what I'm going to gain from this. Because I have to gain something. I know I'm going to gain something, because that's not a loss. I refuse to take this as a loss. So what's the lesson? What did I learn? It's the passion to figure out what we learn. The passion to figure out how everything that we've learned, what role it plays, like what piece it is, where it fits, because it all fits somewhere. But it's interesting. But it's the pieces that we forced into place that didn't quite fit. It was close, but not the right fit. But instead of taking more time and effort to rotate it more around to different spots and try to find a better fit, we just, we're tired and we're like, that's close enough. It's, but it's relabeling. It's properly labeling things, getting places in the proper order. But guess what? If you build a lot of puzzles, sometimes you might have other puzzle pieces that end up in this box. You know what I mean? So even though you might end up with extra pieces, it never belonged there anyways. Or what if you spend all this time on this one piece trying to figure out where it fits, but it doesn't even fit on this fucking board? It feels like that sometimes. But hey, give thanks for at least I know now. At least I'm not going to continue any farther. At least I'm not going to waste any more time, energy, effort. That's a win. At least it's not draining me any longer. At least I'm aware of it. I can stop it now. Thanks.
Tattooed scripture preaching sin on skin. She got every saint in town begging to give in. Her eyes like smoke, slow dancing kill. One look will freeze you, but you'll chase her still. She don't talk love, just dirt and flame. Leaves you burned up, never learned her name. She smiles like whiskey, burning straight through your soul. She got that trailer park halo, heart black as coal. Her hips like sin, smooth, savage and cold. She's a story of love we all die to hold. Lipstick wicked, grin full of bite. She'll ruin your day, then haunt your night. Queen of the back road, storm in a dress. Leaves tire tracks on a man's chest. She's hell in heels, heaven in perfume. And if you chase a boy, you best meet your doom. She ain't yours, she ain't mine. That smiles like whiskey, burning straight through my soul. Got that trailer park halo, heart black as coal.
You know, the Stargazer, setting your sights higher. And it came out with Vulnerable. And it's like, it's like seeking, it's like, okay, what ways can I make myself be the most authentic me? And what ways can I be the most vulnerable version of me? It's like setting yourself setting your sight to higher levels of vulnerability. It's, who's going to willingly do that? Who's crazy enough to willingly do that? You would have to seem pretty crazy to set your sights very far down the road of vulnerability. It's like, I want to make it so far down this vulnerability that I'm going to crash all of it. I'm going to get through it all. I'm going to be so authentically me. But look how freeing it is. Look how freeing it is. It's lonesome. There's no one else in that field. But guess what? It's a green field. It's growing. It's thriving. The sun's out. It's not cloudy. You know, it's a lot of times we think we're going to be vulnerable, and what do we think? We think what do we see in the future? It's storming. That's what we see. We don't see the sun. When we think vulnerabilities, we don't think sunshine. You know, but it's the precautions we take. You know, but what are the precautions we take? It's we slowly release. I'm being brought to insecurities again, but it's, you know, it's, well, vulnerability, it's exposing ourselves. You know, but why don't we like to do that? You know, afraid of mockery, afraid of, by who? By people that don't understand. You know, but what are we seeking? You know, it's when we're being vulnerable, we're seeking people that can relate. We're seeking people that understand. We seek people that maybe been through it, people that get it. That's what we're seeking. To relate. You know, we can relate to a lot of people, a lot of each other's pain, but we all kind of heal differently. We all take away differently. Some people go through the same trials and they didn't learn anything. Some people go through the trial and they learned so much. but vulnerable. Opening ourselves up and speaking about the things, speaking about the ways that we were hurt, speaking about the ways that we healed ourselves. It's just speaking about it. The throat chakra, one of the most blocked chakras, one of the most hardest to open up, because it's vulnerability, it's truth, it's honesty. But it's honesty with, you have to be honest with yourself before you can be honest with others. Honest with ourselves. A lot of times we tell ourselves that no one's going to relate, that no one's going to get it, no one's going to understand. How could they? We'd be surprised, but it's only when we come out of that place and we're fully authentic, we're fully honest, with ourselves, with others, but we can't be honest with others if we're not honest to ourselves. There's always going to be some slight bit of, deceit, veiled deceit. But it's funny, people hear that veiled deceit, and very rarely do they ever think that we're the ones projecting our own deceit over ourselves, which happens quite often. Hey, thank you. Well, why? It's ourself. We're able to see how we're vulnerable. It's like, oh, yeah, that leaves me open right there. Let's hide that away. Don't want anyone to see that. But it's those things. It's all those things that we shove away, that we haven't processed through. That it's a bond, it's a chain, it's holding us back. Holding us back, but it's the eyes. But I'm being drawn into the eyes, and it's like, it's interesting. You can see people's pain in their eyes, but you can also see joy in people's eyes. And sometimes the story doesn't match, what the appearance looks like. Because sometimes, when we take the time to be vulnerable, people would expect it. People expect it to be cloudy and stormy, right? But it's not. Why are you so happy? Well, you must not have been through anything. You must not have gone through anything. If you're so cheerful and happy, it's like, maybe I went through a lot. Maybe I chose not to break. Maybe I chose happiness. Maybe I chose peace. It didn't find you. Maybe I chose joy. Where? It's nowhere to be found. But you can form it. You can make it. But what's interesting is kind of like this shine, the glow, the star in our eye, but then projected out into something that we can see. It's like, what is that? Is it what people see in us before we're able to see it? But it's one eye, single eye. In the Bible, they talk a lot about, it talks about, looking through a single eye. And people think it's just simply like, it's neither one of those eyes. It's your first eye. It's your first one. The one that's unseen. That shows you all, that reveals all. But reveals all. But the precautions, interesting, the precautions. Our reality will only, even when we're seeking the truth, our reality, the Most High will only allow our reality to be shattered so much, because too much if you find out too much too quick, and you're probably, ooh, you know what I mean? It's, you're not going to rein it all in. You're not going to hold it together. So it's bits and stages and steps. And as you're ready. But as the Most High knows that you're ready. Not that what you think you're ready. It's because you look at some of the stuff that's put in front of you. It's like, I don't know if I can handle that load. Holy shit, that's a lot. And it's like, of course you can. That's why it's in front of you. But it's not just your own strength. It's not just your own understanding. It's not just you. It's your spirit team. It's the Most High. All at your dispense. You know, you're not meant to do it alone. If you think you are, you're wrong. If you're trying to, you're wrong. You know, but it's the way that they'll guide us into, but it's the precautionary steps. It's gentle. You think they want to destroy you? You think the Most High wants to see you suffer? You think your spirit team wants to see you suffer? You think your spirit team watched you suffer and wants you to not learn the lesson so you get to do it again? Yeah, I said get to, because it's a privilege. Yeah, most people don't perceive it as that. Of course not. Of course not. It's a gentle release of not thinking that we know better. You know, it's thinking that we know better. It's believing that we know better. You know, it's when we drop the belief that we know better and we hold on to the knowing that the Most High knows better and everything's working out for my greatest good. That's the change. That's the difference. That's the game changer. That's for somebody.
First frost October on the window's breath. You closed that door, I wore what's left. If river smooth stones with 1,000 hands, why do I still cut like glass on sand? 30 days dry and a throat full of dust. I'm trying to shine, but I flake when I'm touched. This life comes down like a hammer on my chest. Love will test your loneliness doesn't rest. I carry what I can and I lay down what I must. They say the fire makes steel.
Alright. Fangirl, you're up. You still in here? Alright.
Say the fire makes steel, Lord, make me more than rust. Coffee cup ring and a tired sun's glow. I listen slow when I go. It's already done, already mine. I don't change how you learn. What I want comes on time, 'cause the universe moves when I decide. Done, already done. Feel it in my chest, I'm the chosen one. I don't wait, I don't beg, I don't hope. I shift my mind and reality follows. Doubt tries to talk, but I don't listen, 'cause everything changes when my vision glistens. I put my focus where I wanna go. The outer world copies my inner flow. No fear, no pressure, no stress. My vibration always manifests. I don't need the how, I don't need a sign. I step into the version where the future's
Yeah, I don't need to know the how. I don't need to know a sign. You know, seeking clarity. Don't need to know how. Needing to know how. You know, but needing to know the how, seeking clarity, embracing the unknown. But it's the work that we do to heal our bloodline, not even knowing that we're doing it. You know, but what do we heal? Some of the things that we heal the bloodline from. You know, some of the generational curses that we heal our bloodlines from. It's just pent up anger. it's passed down into our ancestral, DNA, trauma, and everything else. It's pent up anger. That can be passed down too. But what are those? It's chains. They're bonds. What's interesting too is sometimes we pass down anger and hate towards certain people or places and things to our children, when if we never taken the time to evaluate it. Well, first off, we shouldn't be passing that down to anyone, because we shouldn't even be holding on to it ourselves, because it's a chain, it's a bond. The pent up anger, we release in love. It doesn't mean you have to accept them back. Doesn't mean you ever have to open your doors up to them again and respond to a message. But you're not supposed to hold any hate or anger or resentment. Because that's a pain. That's a chain. Well, our pain is chains, but it's if we allow it to. Our pain is only a chain if we allow it to remain a chain. We could transmute it and turn it into a fuel. But notice like the staffs. It's kind of like kind of looks like from this angle that the child's holding a staff too. But what are staffs? What do we use staffs for? To help us maintain our footing? To give us a little balance? To help us, when we feel a little weak, to lean onto? It's passing down the right things. It's learning. It's being the generational curse breaker. It's learning. It's seeing like the bonds, the chains, the anger, right? Like that's trapped. That's been plaguing our bloodlines for a while, and but we can see how detrimental it is. A lot of times we look at people and like, why are you so miserable? But we can see by their actions. We can see by their words. We can see by what's in their heart. I can see it. You know what I mean? We try to let people see. It's like, you're always talking shit about this person. You're always doing this. You're always doing that. You're investing all this time, all this energy into what? Into this person? You're giving this person that much of your power? It's a good friend, a good family member is going to make you aware of that. A good family member is going to try to help you correct that behavior. A bad family member is going to co-sign that behavior. A bad family member is going to go along with it. A bad family member is going to do those things. But what is that? That's just reinforcing the chains and the bonds that's on the generation. And then we get all these whole families, and everyone has the potential to be a generational curse breaker. Every single person has the opportunity. Not many choose it. We unwillingly and unknowingly pass down chains from generation to generation. Sometimes we observe them as good things. But a chain is a chain is a chain. But chain reactions. The chain reactions that we can set off by being the change. The change that we can make, it ends right here, right now, with me. And so it doesn't have to, why do you have to wait till you're done in this lifetime for it to end? No, you want to continue living with it? It's like, no, just get rid of it. It ends right here. It ends right now. It ends with me. I talk about child neglect, and child neglect is not doing the shadow work. Being a bad parent, you can provide your kid with everything they need in the 3D, but not set them up spiritually, and you failed. That's tough to hear. People aren't going to like that. People are probably going to delete me after that, but it's the truth. But it's... You know what's interesting? By healing through the lineage, and what I'm seeing is so many different animals. You know, all in the same lineage. You know, what would that be though? I don't know. Could it represent kind of like professions? You know, who knows? Like, you know, maybe the turtle is a warrior, and maybe the snake is a, you know, medical professional. Who knows? I don't know. What is it? But it's our trauma is all the same. No matter which path we choose to go down. We all have the same ancestral trauma in the same bloodline. No matter, you know, what family we, you know, grew up in, whether you're cousins or this or that, it gets passed down. And you all have attachments to it, regardless if you're aware of it or not. You think just because I grew up, you know, in a family of whatever the fuck that is, doesn't, you know what I mean? We're all still the same family, but it's interesting. We think that the trauma ends. We think that your trauma only stays onto your part of the family, and my trauma only stays on my part of the family. Now it's interesting too, you know, connecting with people. It's, you know, starting, you know, relationships with people, and it's, you know, you're joining your traumas as well. Are you aware of that? You know, people think about the benefits. What can I gain from our union? But, you know, do you think of the other aspects of it, or what else you're gaining? Trauma. That's an interesting concept.
Tried to drink it all, but it sank back in. They say scars tell the story, and Lord, I got mine. It's like road maps down the back of my spine. But I ain't looking for pity or praise.
Welcome.
Just a bit of peace at the end of my days. 'Cause the hand reached down when I was buried in regret. Didn't promise me a crown, just a reason not to quit. Didn't preach, didn't plead, didn't shout. Just showed up, quiet and pulled me out. I'm still rough, still warm, still full of doubt. But I'm standing 'cause of the hand that pulled me out. I never saw a light or heard a choir sing, but I felt something stronger than anything. Call it grace, call it fate, call it what you please. All I know is I'm back on my feet. A hand reached down through the smoke and noise. Didn't care about my
Okay.
past, just gave me.
And so let me go. What do we got next? All right, Moonbright, you still here? Moonbright, you're up.
Just wait for the hand that'll pull you out.
Moonbright, you still in here? You're up.
I rise in clarity, I rise in my true flow. My inner field opens with every breath I choose. I feel new space awakening within me. Old patterns drip from my center with ease. Every step moving deeper into balance. Every moment
Alright.
expands my field of truth. I feel my energy brighter. I feel my rhythm alive.
All right, Divine Mother, you're up. You still in here?
I release all the weight in my feet. release all the blocks that once sealed. I release all that no longer lives me. I transmute it to pure golden energy. I release all the weight in my fear. I release all the blocks that once
Divine Mother, you're up. There you are. All right.
transmute it to pure golden energy. Every challenge shaped inside of me. Every moment carry wisdom forward. I honor the journey that brought me here. Now I choose a path of clear expansion. I feel my center glowing bright. I feel energy rising through me. I feel new timelines opening wide. I release all the weight in my feet. I release all the blocks that once sealed. I release all that no longer lives me. Transmute into pure golden energy. I release all the weight in my feet. I release all the blocks that once sealed. I release all that no longer lives me. Transmute to pure golden energy. Through breath I rise. Through choice I rise. Through presence I rise. Golden light moves through every part of me. Golden truth fills every corner of my feet.
Golden truth filling you. Releasing. You know what I'm getting is it's releasing the ways that we only kind of like take care of ourselves on like a 3D way, on a 3D level. It's looking deeper. It's being able to look deeper at ourselves on like a soul level and seeing what our soul needs. And it's not just because a lot of times, you know, we can give ourselves everything we want in the physical and still, you know, feel so lost, so lonely, so whatever it is that we still feel. It's because we're only feeding the flesh. You know, we're not feeding our soul. We're feeding the flesh, but we're draining our soul at the same time. Our soul is being, well, it's malnourished. You know, but interesting, malnourishment. It's interesting too. I'm being reminded of, I've been seeing these advertisements a lot recently. It's some sort of natural cream, right? And it's supposed to get rid of the wrinkles and bring back life into your skin, right? But, so there's this older lady, and she got a little older and wrinkly, right? But she'll do like half of her face. And then, but her whole face will look like that, and then she'll cream half of it, and then the half will look like a lot younger, right? But it's the same person. It's the same person, but it's the nourishment. You know, but it's a difference of just taking care of our flesh or taking care of our soul. It's below the surface. You know, eye candy is surface level. It's depth. It's the soul. You know, where's the soul? The soul has depth. The soul is deep. You know what I mean? It's not surface level. It's not fulfilled by surface level things. Not fulfilled by... No, interesting. Not fulfilled by superficial things. You know, but when we stop feeling fulfillment with superficial, what do we open the doors up to? Magic. You know what I mean? We open our doors up to possibilities that we didn't even know were possible. You know, it's speaking into existence, giving thanks to the Most High for showing me how good it can get. And don't just is don't just ask for it. Speak it into existence. You know, give thanks. Give thanks for showing me how good it can get. Not because I can see it right now, but because I know it's going to happen. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how we're going to get there. How are you going to do it? How is this all going to play out? I know it's going to play out, but how? I'm not sure. But I hold on to the knowing. You know, but the knowing of what? It's all going to play out for the greatest good. You know, but that's interesting too. But it's, you know, it's the way that we could watch the 3D collapse, but it's the way that we could feel it. But it's the pieces being put back together on a soul level. So even though the 3D might be collapsing, I still feel more together and more at peace because that's where the depth is. That's it's like untangible, but the most, how do I even say that? You know, embrace the unexpected. Seize the chance for transformation. You know, taking care of our needs. You know, sometimes we think that we don't have what we need. You know, but what I'm seeing is like, is videos of Palestine, how they're, you know, they're going through the rubble. You know, they have to build shelters and stuff, but they're going through the rubble of the destruction, the towers. They're going through that rubble, and they're finding things to build their shelter. They're finding things to taking care of their needs. You know, but what are they doing it with? They're doing it with the, you know, it's the destruction. You know, don't have a lot. But, you know, and some of them, I'm watching this one video, this guy, you know, he was digging through this rubble for days just to get enough rebar to help build a little shelter, right? Dig days and days of digging out. You know, he hasn't, you know, there's no money, there's no equipment, you know what I mean? Nothing. But at the same time, you know, lost so much. But at the same time, like, just staying busy, staying occupied, giving thanks. You know, but we have options, you know, you know, the man could sit there and do nothing, you know, while his family has no shelter, while they starve, or he could at least be making progress towards something, and he's choosing to make progress towards something. And what? It's, well, no money to buy this. It's troubleshooting. We always have what we need to make it to the next step. The answers are around us. It's within grasp, it's within reach, whether it be knowledge or who knows, whatever it may be. It looks different all the time, but we always have exactly what we need. We might not be pleased with it, we want more, which is nothing wrong with wanting more, but we give thanks for everything at the time and place of where we're at. But it's not even a place of wanting, it's a place of knowing that greater it's my birthright, and so greater is coming for me. You know, that's the knowing that you hold on to, not beliefs, you know, because you only believe in what you do not know. And I know I'm worthy of greater, and I know it's my birthright, so I know it's got to be coming, you know, it has to. The win, it's the win, it's the win.
I made a fire in a world so cold. They judge her frame, but not her fight. She walk in church and her room get light. I see it different, that's the truth I stand on. She ain't your sin, bro. She God's backbone. She God's backbone. And I was the first to see her hope.
Alright.
It all gets to be easier. It all gets to be yours. It all gets to feel better and better and better. You truly do get to have it all. You are so loved. You are so divinely taken care of. The entire world is with you.
You know, interesting. Of course the song will come on. You're divinely taken care of. You know, you know, no one wants to hear that we're exactly where we need to be. No one wants to hear that a lot of times. You know? But a lot of times, we are. No, not a lot. We're always exactly where we need to be. Maybe not where we prefer, but it's where our choices, our actions, our thoughts, or our lack of. But regardless of what, it's the who. The who is us. The who is us. But we're exactly where we need to be. Maybe not where we want to be, but where we need to be. And, well, where we are. Where we are. All right, Vanity Lee, you're up, I believe. Did I already call you? You're still here, right? I see you in the chat. All right.
It all gets to be easier. It all gets to be worse. It all gets to feel better and better and better. You truly do get to have it all. You are so lovely, you are so divinely taken care of. The entire world is with you. They are on your side. It all gets to be easy. It all gets to be worse. It all gets to feel better and better and better. You truly do get to have it all. You are so lovely, you are so divinely taken care of. The entire world is with you.
You know what I was just saying? This card hopped right out of the deck, but it keeps getting better and better and better and better. And you know what I'm saying? It's quantum jumping, but it's interesting too. The last card that came out is New Worlds. It's quantum jumping. It's better, and it's quantum jumping to this timeline where it's better, and then quantum jumping to that timeline where it's better, and then hey, it keeps getting better and better and better. But it's we learn to drop the perfectionism. It's the way that we shame ourselves into thinking we're less worthy, or the work that we do is less worthy. It's the way that we deceive ourselves. It's learning to change the way that getting rid of the ways that we deceive ourselves. But the first step is being aware of it. But it's perfection seeking. It's a lot of times if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna try to perfect everything before you do it, it's you can't do that. You're not gonna make it as far. And it's crazy how you can make more progress with kind of what appears to be less effort and less movement, but it's as long as it's more aligned. It doesn't matter when you compare yourself to other people, and it's like, look at how far they are, look at what they have, or this and that. It's comparison. As long as we compare to see where we can improve. We don't compare so that we compete, because we don't compete. When we're trying to compete, we're holding ourselves back. That's a bond and a chain that we're putting onto ourselves. But perfectionism, it's it's more important just if we're led to do certain things, it's more important that we just get it out there. We can work on perfecting it as we go, but to not have it out there at all, because we gotta wait to have a perfect product before we put it out. It's like, get that motherfucker out there. Just throw it out there. If you're being led to do whatever it is you're being led to do, just do it. Don't wait until it's but perfect to who? We're waiting for it to be perfect in our eyes. Well, we're always analyzing ourselves, so it's never going to be perfect, right? It's never going to be, but it's perfect for right now. It's perfect right now. You know, but there's always room for improvement for us, for anything. You know, there's always room for improvement, but look how far away some people go to get away from improvement. So secluded. They move so far away, so lonely, just to not improve, just to stay stuck in our ways. And it's like, well, that's unfortunate. It's lonely, but okay. You know, it is living in our own worlds, our own secluded worlds. You know what's interesting too? It's sharing. It's sharing our world with others. And it's sharing the unperfect parts, the uncut, the raw, the real. Not just the perfect image we want everyone to see, but it's remove some layers. Show people who are you. You know, worlds, plural, more than one. Interesting, but it's the way that we can exist in so many different places in one vessel at the same time. We can be so many different things. You know what that's giving? That's like, what's the term for that? I can't think of it. You know, but it's the bridge between the worlds. You know, a bridge from the 5D to the 3D. You know, it's interesting too. It's painting a picture. It's taking the knowledge and everything out of the ether, connecting to the heavens, the realms, the higher realms, connecting out of there, pulling it down, the thoughts, pulling it down, and projecting the thoughts with your words into an image that people can see. It's interesting too. It's being able to show people. It's being able to show people that the mountains that we've built around us. You know, the valleys that are waiting for us for one wrong step, one wrong blind step coming out of your front door, and where are you going? Down a valley. It's the way that you know people wouldn't even be able to see that. You know, some people think it's a luscious yard. Look at all the green grass everywhere and the fruit trees, and it's like where? It's like, are we looking at the same picture, the same image? Are we observing the same thing? Because this is what I'm seeing, and how you see anything other than that, it's beyond me. But back to the full circle, seeing the seeds that you grow. It's the places that we might have thought that we were luscious green grass all around and fruit trees. Then, you know, reality shatter, this is where I'm at. Okay, well, thanks for making me aware of where I'm at. But now that I know where I'm at, now I can start planting some seeds. Now maybe what can I do here? Well, I can bring some truckloads of gravel in. I can start building up, expanding a little bit. There are things that we can do. You know, it's a lot of work, a lot of effort, but there are things that we can do. But hey, at least I'm aware. At least now I can, you know, I know where or how. Or low battery. Now I know what to do before I'm too drained. Before I exerted all my energy, all my time into something else. At least now, right at the nick of time before I got all the way drained, I still got some energy left. Now let's recorrect. You know, there are many more things for you to discover, so don't give up. You know what's interesting is, I mean, there's no footpath, there's no walking path. You don't see a worn path on there. What do they hover? Like, how did they make it there? You know, clearly there's only one way there. How did they get there? I don't see any foot traffic. You know, I don't see a worn path on there. How did they get there? They teleport? How did they get there? Aliens drop them off? How'd they get there? You know, it's interesting, but even the ancient cultures, you know, where the pyramids and all these other temples and things are, you know, you can still see with the worn paths there. There's still, you can see it in nature. When nature took back everything and, you know, like overgrowing it up, taking it all back, you can still see where it existed. Interesting. You know, but it's don't give up just because we don't see the path. Okay, that just means we get to forge our own. I mean, that's one way to look at it. We get to forge our own. New. Brand spanking new. Custom made just for us. Why? Because we're making it right now. It's not made, it's in the process. But it's the knowing that it's already made. It's the knowing that the path is already there. It's already laid out in front of me. But I'm forging it at the same time. It's that integration. It's the integration of the 3D, of the 5D to the 3D. Everything happens in the 5D before it happens down here. But yeah.
This ain't no poor song no more. This that moonshine machine gun banjo war. Let's go. Banjo on my knee like a simmer when it loads.
You're welcome.
So tight like it's lots of damn road. Pick so fast, I'm a bending time I code. I'm a hillbilly hacker with a shine explode. Backwoods outlaw by fighting the trees. 5G signal bouncing off the moonlight breeze. High hat tick like a rattlesnake tease. And the 808 drop make the whole world free. You bring a fiddle battle, boy that's cute. I fry your bowstrings like forbidden fruit. This ain't deliverance, this is reboot. Banjo so loud, she can steal off your boots. I don't play fair, I play fire. Match my blood and the sound climb high. You do it with me, you meet the ghost ride on the shine so king. And the banjo's my choir. We ain't dueling like the old days. We dueling in the digital. Track while the banjo slays and drip. Looking ritual. These strings spit flames like a weapon race. This battle ain't fictional. You step in the ring with Ethan, boy. Your heartbeat ain't predictable. Banjo running high like a turbo.
Sitting here jamming out. I forgot my battery warning came up, but I'm gonna end that right there. But thanks for tapping in. Thanks for your likes, your shares, your comments. Thanks for your gifts. Thank you for the exchange of energy. And until next time.